guys, and welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 2 of the recipes from my summer freezer meals ebook. This ebook contains 20 different freezer recipes that'll get you prepped and ready for those busy summer nights. So let's jump right into the recipes. The first recipe I'm going to be making is taco burgers. So this starts off with a base of mashed chickpeas. You do want to reserve the chickpea liquid just in case you need it later on to make the mixture a little bit more moist so everything holds together. But I like to finely mash my chickpeas with a potato masher until there are no visible chickpeas left. Then you're going to be adding some salsa and some taco seasoning. And then you're going to be adding some oregano and some vegan cheese of your choice. I used some shredded cheddar cheese. Next, you're going to be adding a little bit of diced jalapeno, and then you want to mix this base ingredients together until everything is well combined before you add the breadcrumbs. Once you add the breadcrumbs, you're going to want to stir it around with a spoon for a little bit, but then you're going to want to get in there with your hands and really mash everything together to make sure it's well incorporated. At this point, if you find that the mixture is too dry, you can add some of that chickpea can liquid, and that will definitely get everything nice and moist so you can mold it together. If you feel like everything is too wet, you can add some more breadcrumbs so that this way your mixture holds together and forms into patties. For this mixture, I didn't end up having to add any of the chickpea liquid. It was just perfect the way it was. So this recipe uses 1 can of chickpeas, which will yield 4 burgers. So feel free to double or triple the recipe as your family needs. So we are going to bake these patties off before we put them in the freezer. I have not yet tested freezing the unbaked patties. You could also pan fry these if you didn't want to bake them in the oven. But all you're going to do is you're going to form them into patties. I like to spray a pan with a little bit of cooking spray and line it with foil, and then just place the patties onto the pan and bake them at 400 for about 20 minutes or until they firmly hold their shape and are brown on the outside. So you could keep these patties in the freezer until you're ready to serve them, and then you could just heat them up either in the microwave or the air fryer or the oven. I'll show you how I serve mine up, but feel free to add these on top of like a taco salad or to just eat them in a rice bowl or as is. I'm going to show you how I assemble mine like a burger. So I'm going to start with a bun, and I'm going to add my patty. And then to the top bun, I'm going to add some guacamole. And then I'm going to top my burger with some pico de gallo and some shredded lettuce. And this goes perfectly with a side of chips and salsa. If you heat the patty in the microwave, this dinner can literally be done in like 2 minutes. The way I like to freeze these burger patties is to line them in parchment paper and pop them in a freezer bag. So I just like to make sure that the parchment paper is completely covering the patty so that this way they don't stick together when you put them in the freezer, and they're easy to take 1, 2, or however many out at a time. For the next recipe, I'm going to be preparing a meatball sub kit. So this is for my hot honey meatball subs. So I start by putting some buns in a large freezer bag, and then I add some meatballs. And then for this recipe, it would really be perfect if you had pepper jack cheese. I can't find any pepper jack vegan cheese, so all I do is mix together some shredded mozzarella, shredded cheddar, and then add some red pepper flakes to give it that little bit of zip. Now I'm going to keep all these ingredients in the freezer until I am ready to serve. Once I'm ready to serve, I'm going to take the freezer meal kit out and heat everything up. And then I will show you the fresh toppings that I put on this variation of my hot honey peach meatball sub. So after the bun is heated through and the meatballs are heated through, I do like to kind of chop my meatballs in half so this way it's a little bit easier to eat. So I'm going to add meatballs on half of my sub, and then I'm going to top it with cheese and go ahead and melt that in the microwave. You could also melt this in the air fryer or the oven. Sometimes I find that the vegan cheese doesn't melt very well in the air fryer or the oven, so I do prefer to use the microwave. It just gets it the meltiest. It's totally okay if your cheese is a little bit frozen. It'll just all melt together once you heat it up. So once that's all heated through and melty, I'm going to be topping this with a little bit of hot honey. If you are not a honey user, you could always add a little bit of agave that you mix with some hot sauce and create your own little like hot agave. Or even if you didn't want to do hot sauce, you could do some crushed red chili flakes or some cayenne pepper powder. So I'm going to add some diced peaches, some hot honey drizzled, and then some arugula on top. This goes really well paired with a nice side salad of mixed greens. And again, dinner is going to be ready so fast. If you're into the microwave, it's really only going to take about 2 to 3 minutes to heat everything up. But even if you use the air fryer, you're definitely looking at dinner on the table in less than 15 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed these recipes. Let me know if there's anything you would like to see in the comments section down below. Make sure you download my ebook. It's got a ton of different recipes to get you prepped for the summer. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.